Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself on the show is Southside and Bridgeman. Evening, gentlemen.
How you doing, Ox? How you doing, Bridgeman? And good evening to everyone listening in this evening.
Well, can I just say, huge good evening to you two guys. Massive good evening to the guys in the lobby. And to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
How are you, Bridge?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Very well indeed.
Good.
Just because of that result, I think yesterday was very good.
Yeah, well, it does help, but pity it wasn't the week before. But anyway, how are you, Big Southside?
Aye, good, mate. Aye, feel a lot better now it's Monday. But aye, fine, mate. Looking forward to the night, pal.
Mm-hmm. Enjoyable trip, mate?
Aye, mate, it was enjoyable. Had a good tea time on the Wednesday through the Wednesday night. Went to a couple of bars and met a few people and had a nice night. And the Thursday was pretty much the same. Shared a few hours with Jaffa. Caught up with him.
Okay.
So aye, it was good, mate. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Apart from the result.
Aye, well, obviously you two gentlemen through different circumstances, yes. We're on Friday night, so I'll quickly get your thoughts before we turn our attention to Sunday. Bridgeman, before the show, you were sort of saying that you were pleased with maybe the result. It was always seen as a favourable result in the past, going away from home and getting that.
That's absolutely right, and I was very, very pleased. I was pleased with the team played. There was a couple of wee snippets in the game where we were outplayed because they've got better technical skills and their guys were slightly off form or out of position or whatever. But overall, we could have scored against them a couple of goals. And they could have scored another couple of goals as well. So I think we did very, very well. I'm delighted. We're bringing a team back to Ibrox and we've got a chance of getting through. No change. Chance of getting through. But we need to be our best.
Yeah, I've said Southside that I think the result for Thursday is clouded by the hangover for the Sunday before, mate.
Aye, definitely. I think you need, I've said on here umpteen times, you need to have 11 players, or we need to have 11 players on our game when we're competing in Europe, like when we've played Dortmund and Red Star. We never got 11 players on the Thursday. I did want Braga because I thought all the teams that was left, it was a decent team for us to get at the level that we're at, knowing that we need to get the 11 players playing on the night. So we had a good chance with Sakala, a bit more composure, and we could probably have finished it. I think Golston at the back post with a header, but we didn't really create much more than that, mate. Bit of pressure on them near the end of the game. Disappointed. I thought we would have nicked a goal. I thought we could have scored. But the game's definitely no done. I fancy at Ibrox, but we'll probably have to look to score 2 or 3 Ibrox. But
we just have to win the game, Southside. We win the game. The worst we've got is penalty kicks to get to the semi-final of a European competition.
Yep, that as well. But rather than have to put up with that, mate, I'd rather try and get it done in 90 minutes. But we only need a goal, and hopefully they don't do. We keep a clean sheet, obviously, and it goes into extra time and that. So, but I think everybody was disappointed. I think coming out after the game, you could tell the Bears were a bit flat. It wasn't their best performance by a long shot.
But I think some of the flatness comes for the week before, mate. If I'm being honest, yeah.
Yep.
Bridgeman, because of the way the tie's been played, we're happy there's no away goals, eh?
Well, actually, yeah. I mean, it never bothered me too much, although it added a wee bit of excitement to your thoughts on the game. You know, if it was looking positive for us, then great, you know. But in reality, no. I didn't really care too much about it. I just want Rangers to win and win fair and square, you know. And that's what I'm hoping to do on Thursday night. Desperate to see them.
Mm-hmm. All right, okay. All right, that's Sunday sorted. Thursday sorted quite well. Good to hear from you, and glad I'm fantastic. Southside, you met up with the one and only Jaffa. Did you check your change?
I didn't see him go to the bar, mate, to be honest.
All right. I know he's a student at Bridges, mate. I know he's a student at Bridges, you know.
No, I thoroughly. The big man was cracking laugh, mate, and thoroughly enjoyed the company.
Oh, mate, aye, real.
You had to mix
good.
in with some of the riff-raff, you know, but
well,
you handled it well.
I can imagine. Listen, as I've said to you before, Bridgeman, I thought I was working class to meet his battalion. I realised I was middle class. You know?
Excuse me.
You know, but there we go. Right, if it's all right with you two, we'll get the view for the bridge, and then we'll get the phone lines opened.
Aye, mate. Look forward to it. Yep.
Let's hear the view from the bridge.
View from the bridge. Can't take anymore. View from the bridge. Can't take anymore.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to A View from the Bridge. For the game at St Mirren versus Rangers at Newsonburn Park on Sunday, 10th of April 2022, an SPFL Premier League game. The referee was John Beaton, attendance 6,583. A good Rangers victory, a hat-trick for Kamal Roof, and a worldly goal from Rebo won the 3 points for the famous. Well pleased with this result. 4 goals and a clean sheet, magic. 4-0 going on 14 for me. One issue, a foot injury to Helander, looks and sounds sore. Hope it heals quickly for him. He was doing well in the game too. The ref booked Brophy for the offence, where the St Mirren player holding tugging the jersey pull and barging him to the ground. Roof, though different from Morelos, proved his penalty box ruthlessness when properly supplied. He had an excellent game. Confidence will be high. He must surely start at Ibrox for the return leg versus Braga on Thursday. Thought that Jordan Jones played well for them. What could have been. What could have been. The game. Rangers came out of the traps and played it on the front foot, retaining possession and looked good on the ball. On 2 minutes of lovely passing moves involving Goldson passed down the right to Tab. He tried a cross which goes all the way to the other side of the pitch, where young Kent controls the ball just inside the box and gets in a lovely cross which Ben picks out Roof. He gets in a great header into the net past the despairing keeper. 1-0 to the famous. Great start, Rangers. Well done, Goldson, Tab and Kent. And Roof, of course. On 16 minutes, Ramsey makes a lovely pass to Goldson, who tries a right-footed shot from outside the box, which is way too high. That sounds about right for him. And so again, Stephen Davis replaces, on 16 minutes, Stephen Davis replaces John Lundstrom because of what looks like a groin injury. On 29 minutes, nice passing across the field from Rangers, Davis to Barisic to Kent. He uses a Rebo for a wall pass and races it across the 18-yard line, where he is upended by Power. He wins a free kick. Power's yellow carded, which is correct. Tav takes a free kick and puts the ball over the bar, which is usual for him at the present moment of his form. It's all Rangers so far, but we're not making as many chances as we should be, I think. On 39 minutes, we're attacking and the ball falls to Ramsey on the edge of the box. He gets in a great shot, which is well saved by the keeper. On 43 minutes, Helander gets the shot pulled and is barged to the ground by Brophy, who is yellow carded for his rough, dirty play. Substitution, Rangers. King replaces Helander because of an injury. 4 minutes injury time added to the first half. Rangers put the pressure on to good effect. 47 minutes, Ramsey gets in a right-footed shot from the edge of the box, which goes too high. In 48 minutes, Rangers move upfield at pace, down the right, where Roof passes the ball square for Sakala in the box, but he just can't gather the ball, and it reaches Ramsey close to the 6-yard line, who gets in a good shot, which hits the underside of the bar, and comes out, and it's cleared. Unlucky Ramsey, good play, Rangers, good play. In 49 minutes, great passage of play by Rangers. Davis threads a wonderful pass through to Ramsey, and he in turn gives a great pass out to Tav, who gets in a wonderful cross, which finds the head of Roof, who guides the ball into the far corners of the net. Wonderful stuff. 2-0 to the famous, great goal, Roof. Brilliant cross, Tav, super passes from Ramsey and Davis. King is playing quite well. Coming on for Helander. Davis is playing brilliantly well since coming on for Lundstrom. So pleased for both. Half time, St Mirren 0, Rangers 2. Substitutions at half time. Rangers, Scott Wright replaces Ryan Kent, and James Sands replaces Aaron Ramsey. Second half begins. Rangers came out and played on the front foot, retaining possession and looking really good on the ball. On 50 minutes, Ariba picks up the ball on the left, finds Sakala, races for the goal line in the 6-yard box where he gets in a cross and that just falls for Roof. Right to his feet. It's in a great shot which finds the net. 3-0 for the famous hat-trick for Roof. Brilliant play, Rangers. Rangers continue to press, playing well and creating chances, but failing to convert them. On 62 minutes, a substitution, Ahmad Diallo replaces Khmer Roof. Rangers continue to press, playing well and creating chances, but failing to convert them. Same old problem. Every 10 minutes, you just check it out. On 76 minutes, a lovely long diagonal pass from King to Wright on the right wing. He controls, finds Aribo in the right channel, where he retains the ball, it gets into his possession and steps up with a worldy goal from his left foot. Magic, magic, magic. 4-0 for the famous. Brilliant goal for Aribo. Wonderful passes, King and Wright. For the remainder of the game, Rangers saw out and sealed the win. They seemed to slow the game down in the last 10-15 minutes, which suited the opposition. Full time 4-0. Player by player out of 10. McGregor 6, Tavernier 6, Goldson 6, Helander 6, Varasic 6, Ramsey 6, Lundstrom 6, Aribo 7, Sakala 6, Roof 8, Kent 7. Man of the match, Roof, hat-trick man, followed by Aribo and Kent. Match stats. Possession, 28% for St Mirren, 72% for Rangers. Total shots, 7 for St Mirren, 22 for Rangers. Shots on target, 3 for St Mirren, 8 for Rangers. Corners, 4 for St Mirren, 5 for Rangers. Fouls, 9 for St Mirren, 3 for Rangers. And this is the end of A View from the Bridge.
View from the bridge. Can't take anymore. View from the bridge. Can't take anymore.
Well, thanks for that, Bridge. I can't remember the boy Brophy getting booked. I only remember one yellow card, and that was for power, mate.
No, Brophy did get booked. Down.
I've also checked it out, and I can't see it anywhere. Southside. That was with the challenge with Helander, but I think he's broke a bone and he's fit. Personally, I thought that right away.
I wasn't sure, mate. It was hard to see when you're up our end of the stand, and just seeing the sort of two of them collide. And then sort of, as it started to be the length of time he was done, it's disappointing that he's going to boot for a wee while, but it looks it.
One door shuts, another one opens, because a young boy come on, Leon King, and I thought he strolled it. The boy looks a player, he's fast, he's reasonably strong for a young centre-half, Bridge. It looks as if he's a good reader of the game and an all-round good footballer, because the way his passes consistently were spot on.
Yeah, I must admit, I thought he had a smashing game as well. I did, yeah. Mentioned it in the thing there. The longer the game went on, the more confident he got. So he looks as if he could step up. Not saying every time, but he could certainly step up, that's for sure.
Well, put it this way, in 6 months' time, he's going to be a better player. Southside, thoughts?
The thing I noticed, I don't know if you'd have seen it on the telly, there was a bit in the play when St Mirren knocked the ball out to the wing, and I think it might have been Brophy, it was starting to go to make a run, and Leon just stood across him and blocked him, and you seen him greeting to the referee, and I thought, that's pretty streetwise, wasn't letting him get a run on him, but aye, mate, I thought he came on, he passed well. He had done a wee chip out of Borner a few times. He looked quite comfortable. He is quite physical looking, bigger and looks a bit stronger than maybe somebody like Lowry that's been in the team, just comparing the two. So I think he's got a chance, mate, definitely. And it's just about how we bring him along, I suppose, eh?
Aye, let's not put the boy under pressure, but a big tick in the box for me, Bridgman.
Yeah, 100%. I thought the guy was really good. I think round about me, there's a whole load of people, maybe they know his family or something, but they've been singing his praises, saying the boy should be in. We're struggling for centre halves. Because you see sometimes when you're up, certainly when you're up high and you're looking down in that, sometimes you see what the coaches can't see, and they don't. It's a positional thing, and you see them getting caught out of position. And I don't think that boy got caught out once yesterday, not once. I think it was just great, really great. Very happy for him.
Aye, good. Pleased for him. I don't know if he'll end up a centre half. If I'm being honest, Southside, what I see this now, but the boy looks as if he can play again.
I wouldn't say no, he couldn't, but he probably looks like he could probably play in the full-back position. Maybe right back. Develop, aye. I think he obviously, when he came on there, he played left side of our defence, because obviously Golson always plays on the right. So that's how Hollander and probably Simpson, who's never featured, the only two left-sided players that we've had in the team. Everybody else goes to the left. So, but no, mate, I was impressed. It brought a wee bit of freshness to the team. I was glad he was getting his chance. And I think with the sort of subs that we made, it sort of gave a wee bit of freshness to the team going forward in the second half.
Aye. If I'm being really honest, big man, and I'll take this to bridge, it should have been double the score it was, mate. Maybe even more, mate.
Aye. Going in the second half, chances. Don't think we really created that much in the first half, to be honest, after we scored. Until we did the second one before half time.
Apologies. For me, it was like 4 going on 14, to be honest. If we'd scored double figures there, nobody could have complained. They were absolutely rotten. Manager's rotten, and everything about the club at the moment is rotten. And that team has beaten us in the recent past and caused us problems before, particularly with get injuries. They always seem to cause injuries to our players, and they did it again yesterday.
Did you read that stat, Bridge? Obviously, they beat us in that cup tie, but since we've come up, I think that's 32 goals we've scored against them, and they've scored one. Yeah. You think to yourself, what is wrong with us when we're playing teams like that? But yesterday, we just crushed them, absolutely crushed them. In my opinion, it could have been double figures easily. Nobody would have complained. Nobody could have complained. And their manager, and I never saw any interviews, so forgive me, maybe you guys have seen the interview of their manager to see what he's saying. He's normally quite mouthy when it comes to Rangers, so I don't know what he said. But I dare say he'd probably turn in and say that the first 2 goals should never have been mistakes by the defence or something like that, you know. We just don't like to see us winning. You know, I thought it was one of the most comfortable wins all season, Southside. And as I said, it became a training session, and once particularly the third goal went in, and we should have scored more goals. And we've also got to learn, when we get that one goal going forward this season and next season, mate, we get the first goal, we've got to drive on and get the second and then the third. It's got to be the way we play. We've got better players, so you've got to score goals and make it easy for the defence and everybody play with confidence.
Well, it's the way it should be for a Rangers team, you know. We should be going for the throat straight away for the kick-off, you know, and it should be a matter of how many you're scoring. I mean, we pay a lot of money to watch Rangers, and we know teams come in and play these low blocks, but we should be geared to try and score as many goals as we can against teams, and obviously then that gives us an entertainment value. I will compliment St Mirren. I think their park yesterday was good to play on the surface. I think it
well spotted, mate.
You know, so I think that was good for it to go there, and credit them for that. But I was going
to bring my grass expert in, Fox, but he says no.
So I thought that allowed us to play a wee bit more passing football and that, you know, we didn't have to lump it as much, but we could have scored a lot better rocks, definitely. We had a lot more chances in the second half. When it was just one of the days where we've not added to the score, but we've got 4. But it was a bit of a training exercise, to be honest, in the end.
Mm-hmm. All right, we get these phone lines opened.
Aye, mate, brilliant. Let's get the Bears in and let's get a bit of chat going.
Right, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I'm glad we've just played that. I'm beginning to think I was cracking up.
What do you like?
Seriously, mate. Did we play that? Anyway, Leon King stole the show for me yesterday. Big Phil, he can't catch a break, Bridgeman, can he? You know? Southside.
Aye, it's just back then. It didn't even look much yesterday, did it? Once I've seen it on the telly, I thought he might have played them on Sunday, and it was obviously getting a bit more minutes in. But it looks like if it's a wee break of a bone or something like that, he's going to be out for a while and probably could curtail the rest of the season, which is unfortunate again for us. So aye, mate, it's a blow for us again, in sort of centre defence.
Aye, obviously couldn't play on Thursday, but as the season goes on, it's a blow to his Bridgeman. He can't catch a break, a big kid, he?
No, he can't.
He might be better writing this season off and just getting fit and ready for a pre-season, huh?
Well, there's only well, I was hoping that we could maybe get his shall we say, I think he's a brilliant player for us. And you saw some of the stuff he did. Lovely passing, some great passing, particularly down the inside left channel, because we don't have anybody with that lovely left foot, other than Barisic. And by the way, I thought Barisic played no bad yesterday, considering. But every one of our players should be playing well against that team. That's the truth. But very unlucky, big calendar. Can he catch a break?
I'm just going to look at his stats, Southside, and see what he's done, what games he's played in the time he's been with, you know.
Aye, I think we've looked at roughly before in it, and then maybe plays just over 20 odd games a season, I think, since he's signed. He had an injury before it, kept him out for quite a while. He is a good defender, he reads the game well. A lot of people always say he doesn't have a lot of pace, but there's no a player in Scotland that I remember has outran him for pace, unless somebody wants to come on and tell us. But I don't remember him getting outrun for pace. I think his positional sense, Bridge, like you say, is good. And when you're passing forward onto Borner or Bassey, he passes it in front of him. So I like Big Phil, and I think for him not being able to play on Thursday, he might have had a chance to have been playing in the semi-final. There might have been a chance that Gio might have went down that road, but obviously at the moment that's going to have to count that out.
So what is it? Is it one of these silly broken metatarsal or something like that? Is that what it is?
Looks that way, Bridge. We've not any details. I'm sure it'll come out, but obviously it looked that way. Obviously the boot on and that when you've seen the pictures. That's what I thought right away. Bridgeman, what's your thought of somebody that used to play with the big leather boots with the Tomlinson T-boys and that, having a modern boot?
Well, you know, you're saying the right thing there to a certain extent, because you had this sort of this supportive toe that allowed the guys to toe the ball, you know, as opposed to try and sweep it up like they can now. But yeah, it's as soon as you move away from the big toe bashers, you know, like they were just like a stainless steel toe cap boots you used to get in the shipyards. You remember them, of course.
Maybe a good player to play with him, Bridge.
But no, seriously, I think he's been stamped on for sure. I don't mean deliberately stamped, but certainly, unless he stood on his own foot, which I doubt. So I think the Power Boy was putting some power. Brophy was putting on a bit of
actually, if I'm being really honest with you, Bridge, I actually thought Hollander fouled him first. I don't know what you thought.
Why he had his arms on his shoulders,
and
I don't know whether that's because he was starting to tug, and I really don't know what would lead up to. But it's John Beaton. And like I'll have a look at that incident to see if he did book him. Still in my mind, I can see him standing there.
No, I don't think he did, mate. I don't think he did.
That's fine. I'll check it out and I'll come back to you on that.
You know.
But
and also, when you're there, take your library book back for 1978, yeah?
1978. I was only a youngster then.
I think you're right, Ox. I think he was sort of grabbing them and sort of that. And I think he's came off balance, Brophy, and it's just one of these unfortunate things, isn't it? That's happened.
Aye. What's your thoughts on the modern boots outside? They're not solid and you don't get the protection. Do you think it's an issue, or do you think it's just unlucky to have the on?
I think it's a bit unlucky. Most of the days now, when you're looking at the players, it's what colour of boots are they wearing. You don't really know exactly what make they are these days, you know. I feel like the old days when you knew a pair of Adidas was just normally black with the stripes and that, you know, and Humo and Nike and all that back in the day. Puma 444, if you remember, and all them. But I think all the leathers have all changed on the boots, Predators and all that. And I think that's probably maybe what a lot of them wear. I don't know.
I've just had a text from somebody northwest of the city. he was Gola or Wolverhampton.
Oh, he had decent Michael 4 stripes, didn't he?
Oh, brilliant. Just brilliant.
Oh dear. He used to get them and have to take a stripe off them, eh?
Aye. Brilliant.
Oh dear. Oh, you're going to laugh. Aye, okay. Right, give us a thought. I'll ask him the listeners out there that want to come on. Has the boy King got a chance? I'll tell you, I like him and I like the boy Lowry. Obviously, Alex got a wee injury at the moment, but I think hopefully they can have a career with us and grow into being great players for the South Side.
Aye, 100%. That's what we're hoping. We're hoping that we can develop them. Obviously, we were in the same boat with Patterson. We were hoping he was going to come through and play, but he's been sold for decent money. And so, obviously, the next two boys that we've got that have been features, King and Lowry. So, I'm hoping they'll get a chance. I think going forward, realistically, it's going to be what they'll do next season. And hopefully they'll be part of that squad regular, and hopefully they'll get a chance to feature, and hopefully we'll see them develop and grow and make them into better players, and that's what we hope for, and hopefully we'll get success along the way with them, you know. And we can't flood them with teenagers, mate, we know that, but we've got two there that now we can hopefully try and promote into the first team.
Mm-hmm. Aye. Different types of players. It's good bridge. One's a natural boy that wants to defend, and the other one's a ball player. Good.
Yeah. I do think I was very impressed with that young boy King when he came on. He came on. I'm sure he came on one game before a friend or something like at Ibrox, and he played quite well. I'm not saying he was brilliant, but I think he played quite well. But I thought in patches of that game that he was on, he never let himself down. He never let Rangers down. I thought in patches he was absolutely brilliant. That pass to right from the left wing over to the right wing, fabulous pass, just utterly fabulous. And that's the one he gave. He just passed it straight to Aribo. Aribo went in and hit his worldie. Just great move, a brilliant set of passing by Rangers. You can't beat that. And if the boy can do that, maybe he's been learning that from Goldson. He could maybe be better than Goldson if he keeps on going. I thought Goldson played no bad, I think so as well.
I'm going to say something about Goldson, and I'll go to South Side because I reckon it wouldn't have happened too far for you when you had the injury in the second half. You were at that end, weren't you?
In the second half.
When Goldson got injured, right? We're 4-0 up. You get a knock. We were defending a corner. We're 4-0 up. Does it matter? Get the guy off if he wouldn't do injured.
Aye, that's right. He came off the side of the park. Aye, technically you wouldn't want to take many chances because he's. And if we're looking to try and get through, which we want to get through on Thursday, we can't afford really to have him missing, you know. So it might have been ideal to take him off. I don't know what the injury was going to be, Oxen. Maybe he said I'm all right, but
it doesn't matter. Sometimes
it shouldn't matter.
No,
because all players will probably say I want to play on, really, won't they? Aye, the majority of them.
Aye. You know,
I think Goldson's been our best servant over the last 4 years.
Without a doubt, with the stats and the you know. And by the way, he could have been injured, and it wouldn't have mattered if we played on or no. But it was 4-0 in the game. It was good. I think we were in the 88th minute or something. Bridge, it's just tough to be a bit. Obviously, all right. We used for 5 subs. Does it matter?
Good point. You
know, just my thoughts. I thought
I would put Tab up. I would put Tab up there alongside Goldston because I think consistently.
Big Hollander, your point is it's 59 games and 1 substitute appearance, mate. That's what he gave us.
Is it?
In 3 years.
If you look at what Golson's gave us in 3 years, what Tav's gave us in 3 years, Borna, you know, they've probably played a lot more games than that.
Right, okay, since the
And
start.
even Bassey, like you said about, he's played a number of games now.
I'll soon tell you now, mate. I'll soon tell
You know, if you look at the
the
stats, that's what we're looking at, innit? And
right, I'll look at Bassey just for you, yeah?
mm-hmm.
Is that
You
all right?
seem to be his favourite. You seem to be his favourite, so well done.
I think he's playing well in now, Bridge. I think he's come in and played well, and he's deserved to hang me. And Borner's come in a couple of times and started to look a wee bit better than what he had.
Big Bassey's been with us a season less. He's started 44 games and 12 as substitute. So he's only four appearances behind Big Hollander with a season less with the club, yeah.
And you've got to think that Hollander being fit would be in our team most weeks.
Aye.
Whereas Bassey had to play second fiddle to Borner.
Aye.
So,
and was third choice to maybe fourth choice at one time when Simpson was there to play left side centre back, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That boy Simpson's no ways anymore. He's gone, isn't he?
No,
he's still there, mate.
No ways. But he's been gone.
You know, it's not worked too well. They 2 seconds for Bournemouth, none of them. They've not worked too well, have they?
No, they have not.
Reasons.
Unfortunately, we've not even had an update about the other boy, yeah.
No. It's good to see him at the side of the park. I think that was a Dortmund game, mate, when the team were coming off, yeah?
Aye. I think they said there was some positive news a wee while back, like, so hopefully things will progress and it might be a new addition to our team in the summer if things are progressing well.
He's actually kicked a ball for us.
No, it was heart issues, isn't it?
Because that was the medical. And they found it, wasn't it? They sent out a specialist and they found it.
You know.
Don't want to do anything like that. But it's good if he's still available, or he's making it still available, and he's training at all, even a wee bit. It'd be marvellous. And get him a pre-season, let him go on with it.
You know, but it's interesting to see how it pans out. We're obviously going to have to go into the market for centre halves in the summer. We've got one coming in, but we're short now, and this is a chance for Leon King. Southside, it definitely is. Yeah,
aye, definitely. Like we said, he looks quite physical enough in that. Obviously, he's a young boy and he's going to learn and make mistakes, but he's got a chance to get into the squad, and if they're coached right and he picks up a system and we can stick to it and he's getting regular games, he's only going to get better, you know. Whether he'll start next season, we don't know, but I'd like to think that he'll be part of Gio's squad and the likes of Alex Lowry, but we're talking about defenders now, so I'd like to think that he's got a chance to try and make a breakthrough into our team, you know, and good luck to him. I hope he does.
Suter and Halkett made a good partnership from a central defensive perspective. Would you think it would be an idea that Rangers try and get hold of Halkett as well? I don't mean that for any money. Just to see if we get a sign on for the next transfer window or something like that, you know.
Say that again, Bridge, sorry. I missed your original point.
Perhaps, right?
Oh, the boy Halkett, perhaps. Would you take him in all, Bridge, aye?
Well, as long as we're not having to pay any money, I would think about it. But I don't know what his contract's like with Hearts. He might just assign a new one and then we'll forget all about that, because
I know that the boy would walk back to Ibrox, mate. That's his dream, you know.
Yeah, I just think if his contract's maybe another year to run, then we could maybe target that for Christmas time. Go and speak to him, because if we're going to have Suter and him had a really good partnership. They played very well together.
Right, but are they there?
We've got Suter free.
Aye, are they going to get us to the next level, or it's like what mate Hadji says, he'll be levelling up Southside?
Well, that's what we're sort of going to be looking at. He's going to have to look at what type of player we're going to be attracting. Bridge, you know. Mm-hmm. We'll bring Suter in. He's no got a great consistency record. He's had, unfortunate for him, he's had a few injuries. We're hoping that we'll get a good run at him and he'll be able to be there available most weeks for us. But it's centre defence is what we're looking at. I don't know if Halkett would do, Bridge, to be honest. We're looking for better than that. No disrespect to him. He was at Rangers, and we obviously didn't push the boat out or try to keep him. So I think he's possibly at his level of where he's playing now.
Yeah. But
John Suter obviously looked a better player than him.
Do you think Suter's a better player than him?
I think Suter.
Some of the guys around about me up in Scotland are saying that they thought Halkett was a better player than him. Suter.
I've not watched him a lot, Bridge. I've seen bits and bobs. He's always been highly rated a bit. For people at sort of Bolton thought he could play at a higher level. So I think if he could stay fit, and that's obviously been the boys' problem with having a couple of serious injuries. But if he can stay fit, Bridge, I think he could be a good addition to our squad.
Yeah, cool. I didn't want him. I still don't think he's a Rangers quality player. But a lot of folk would disagree with me, and I'll give in to them.
The problem we've got is when you're ripping it up and starting again in a position, and you maybe go to bring in as many as 4 Southside. Yeah, you're not always going to be able to get who you want to fill the 3rd and 4th positions. It's difficult if you do manage to get your first 2 choices. The 3rd and 4th, getting somebody in sometimes has to be a project because you can't have £5 million and 3 of them, 1 in the stand and 2 in the bench. You know.
I'm just wondering who's actually buying the players, who's sourcing them. I would have expected Gio and the new guy that we got in, Foster or something for Ajax. I'd like to think that they two would have had an input into certain players that we could target, whether in Holland or Germany, wherever, France. But are we going down the road of it's done by Ross Wilson? He targets the players and Gio gets them. That's the wee thing it irks me a wee bit, because I think your manager should be targeting players. But like you say, maybe if you give him the remit of what you're looking for, then he goes and gets them, gives you maybe 2 or 3 of them and say, well, what one do you want? But I'd like to think Gio and the boy for Ajax is actually going to be scouting players that we're going to get in next season, Bridge. And Shooter could be our 3rd centre-back box. We might go and buy 2 young boys. We
need Scottish players for Europe as well to be in the squad, remember, yeah?
Yep. Aye. That's how we'll probably sign Nisbet.
You ain't going to sign him?
No, I'm only kidding you on, mate.
It's all right, man. I nearly died.
Man, he's a bad man. He's trying to get you upset.
He would as well.
I was going to see that centre back, but I couldn't remember his name.
Portis.
Aye, Portis.
Well, I tell you, I remember sort of at the early on this season, and I made a comment about Portis. I just don't like that boy at all. I don't think he's a centre half's arsehole, if you thought. I mean,
no,
I'm just saying that's how I felt. And I listened to one of the guys on the show, and one of them said, maybe we should go for Portis because he's everybody was saying he's a really good player. I don't like the boy at all, seriously. Just don't. So anyone who wants to go and get him, if he comes and plays for Rangers, obviously like anybody else, I'll support him. But no, I'm going to touch him at Barswell. And that's all the players you've got in Scotland. You've only got what do you call him? Suter and what's the guy again? I just mentioned him earlier. Halkett. You've only got those 2 from a Scottish perspective, and you've got the boy at Hibs, that Portis at Hibs. Other than that, there isn't any centre halves in Scotland. No Scottish boys anyway. Seriously.
No. I mean, the boy got the cut head yesterday with the clash with his own player. Then we had to take a indirect free kick 30 yards for where the ball was. I don't get it, but there we go. But that boy Dunn with St Mirren, he's meant to be touted with some clubs, but I watched him yesterday. I didn't see it.
Woeful, isn't it?
Right.
Woeful.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, we'll have have a prize for the first caller in. A night out with Big Stevie, and the runner-up could have 2 nights out with Big Stevie.
Just don't need a bistro.
Oh dear, he'll kill me when he sees me. But aye, right, okay. Well, the other big news today was the season tickets went out, yeah. And it looks as if they went up by about, I don't know, 5% or something. Is that about right? £2 a game? Something like that, yeah?
Aye, I think Rangers is up my...
I'm broken-hearted. Broken-hearted.
Well, they obviously didn't listen to my idea, Bridgeman.
You got a poor idea, a very poor idea, I tell you.
You
steal the sugar out of blind man's tea.
Oh, mate, I would do away with the concessions. I'd take the penny tickets off people. Unbelievable, Southside, unbelievable. Poor pensioner.
I know. It's got plenty, I know.
It's a good description for me, a good description.
I'm only joking.
I think that I saw the mail come through today for the season tickets, and I've got some relatives that I see every week when I'm there. I go and see them, and we're all season ticket holders. We're all saying the same thing. We're just waiting for them coming out, and then we'll go and buy them. Simple as that. And that's it done. As far as I'm concerned. I think there's something else, but it isn't included in it. I think it's the CCs. What do they call it? Continuous credit scheme. Then you've got to register for that again.
Aye.
Season ticket.
Aye. So where you've got to go, you've got to be in it to get the tickets for the big games. If you don't take them of every game, you're not getting the points outside. People have got their issues with it, but you'll never get a fair system,
Nah, Bill, we know how they introduced it, and they're trying to make it fair for people. But for me, it doesn't show a lot of loyalty to me, I don't think, through it. But I'm a gold member, but I just think there'll be changes going forward at some way. I think just between the European travel and Managerial, but that might be up for another debate. But aye, it's a scheme that's there, mate, and obviously your auto renewal, I think it was as well for Managerial. Gets took, so that'll bring more money into the club for the people that still want to be in Managerial. And the credit card scheme started when I joined it, mate. It was only 3,000 in it. Way back in the day, I think that's how we got tickets for the final at Easter Road against Rafe Rovers that we beat in that stupid cup. And then obviously it developed. We get bigger and bigger, but didn't get bigger straight away. The first few seasons that we were going down the bottom leagues. But then obviously it got a bit bigger. I think at one point it was up to about 13,000. But obviously when Managerial came in, and you've got a new element of new supporters that are growing up and want to start following the club and that, and then you open up Managerial, and obviously then the tickets become what they are, because it is hard to get tickets for every game. We know the situation with the amount of the
I'll
games.
tell you another thing yesterday, mate. There should be another 1,000 tickets to the Bears, and then all the empty seats took, and then the ground's full. I can't get it, Southside. I can't get it.
Well, when I looked to the left, I was in behind the goal in the first half where we scored the 2. And you looked across to the left-hand side, you could have moved all them across the other side into the right-hand side, and Rangers could have filled that whole section where the teams come in.
They could have just told their fans to stay at home, because they don't turn up.
I don't get it, Bridge. I really don't. We've got to get the stadiums full to sell the product, to make it look better, to help all the clubs. Yeah, I just don't get it. It's mental.
You're absolutely right, pal. Seriously, you're absolutely right. I saw the same thing. Well, I was watching it on telly. I saw the same thing, but I must admit it was quite a lot because of the way the cameras were sitting. And the amount of empty seats in that stand facing the cameras was unbelievable. Just unbelievable. And just as Southside said there, what is the score? What is the matter? What's going on,
Aye. If there's a safety reason and somebody gave you a valid answer, I could accept that, yeah, but I don't see it myself every day what Southside says, yeah. So,
Southside, do you know how many tickets we were allocated for that game yesterday?
Well, there was only 6,000 odd at the game, so I'd imagine we had at least 5 of that. I would have thought.
I would have thought so too.
You know,
I just can't. I just like Oxford. I'm perplexed by it all. I just don't understand it. It's all obviously it's all to do with the dislike of Rangers for whatever reason. Probably, I don't know what it would be, to be honest. Jealousy or whatever, you know. I just can't get it. And the Scottish football's dying, and obviously it's dying. The only two clubs that are not dying are three, maybe Hearts. Maybe Hearts have come up for it. But seriously, nobody wants to go and see them. Did they ever get a full house?
No.
We're going to have their sellout Saturdays, weren't they?
That worked well for them.
Look at Aberdeen. They're now in the bottom 6. You know, you cut our allocation. You probably cut them across the city's allocation where he gets the most people going up. And he cuts your allocation. He's now doing the bottom 6. And what's the allocation going to be like for the teams when they come to Pittodrie to play them or that? So he's even losing more money. And Hibs will be the same. So they get what they deserve.
You reap what you sow, man. You reap what you sow. Yep.
No, I was just saying, and I agree 100% what you're saying, that you do reap what you sow, what you were saying there. And I think, I get, as I say, I'm perplexed by the whole thing. I don't understand the enmity, the hatred, bitter hatred in Scottish football. And it's never going to be fixed. And you've got a ragtag and bobtail bunch of idiots running the BBC, and all they're doing is ruining that station. That station's going to have to stop big chunks of their sport. They can't broadcast all their sports. That's what's happening in the BBC. They're restructuring. And it's because they can't get the people that I don't know what it is. They can't say there's certain things they're constrained. And it's all because they can't talk about Rangers. They just can't talk about Rangers. And that's what I believe. And they should be coming to Rangers and saying to the SFA, let's get this sorted out. Can we go and sit down with the clubs and get this ironed out? I don't know how long it's now. It must be 10. No, maybe 6 years.
McCoist was the manager at the time when it all started. You know, you need to go back to 2014, maybe 8 years ago.
There you go. So it's 8 years anyway.
Yeah. You've also got that Singe deal, mate. I mean, you know, the big viewing figures are obviously, we know what games have were. There's been all the games at Ibrox shown on the TV, the advertisement. That should be dismissal for the guy in charge of the game in Scotland alone who signed off on that deal, plus his legal team who checked it out Southside. So don't get me started, you know.
Aye, well, you worked out how much the deal was worth, didn't we? You know what I mean? Worth hee-haw, basically, you know. It's just, Bridge, the BBC doesn't bother me, honestly. It doesn't bother me whether we talk to them or we don't. I just think they're not in a position anyway to really show much games. They're only going to have highlights packages because all the big satellite companies, and even them, and eventually probably something like Amazon or there's other big companies in America not are looking to try and get into football and sport and stuff. So they're only going to show what they show, highlights and that. So it doesn't bother me about them. And obviously,
when you mention Amazon, he's looking for Johnny Weissmuller.
But there's all these sort of companies now are all trying to get into getting a bit of this. They're trying to get into sports, golf and tennis as well as football and everything else, and that's the way it's starting to go. So us not talking to the BBC, that doesn't bother me at all. I don't read I don't even read the papers. You know, I don't bother what they say. To be honest, Bridge.
To be fair, Bridge, what he does, he phones me and I read them out to him.
I see what's that picture saying.
I just think what I find you get is, and this is from long ago when I did listen to them, they always say that full coverage of this, that and the next thing over the next 2 or 3 days. And they always, if Rangers are at Ibrox, they're always saying there's full coverage. They're never full coverage. They're getting the film, the broadcast, whomever it is broadcasting, the Sky or whatever, and they're retweeting it. So they're doing their business and taking all that. And Rangers, I don't know if Rangers get any money for the BBC, to be honest. I wouldn't touch it anyway, but I just don't like them saying we're giving a full coverage of the game at Ibrox. That's what I hate them doing, because we know and I know.
If you don't like it, why turn it off.
No. I'm saying I don't listen to them. I'm just saying this is what when I did listen, that's what they said, and they'll not have changed. They'll still be saying we'll be full coverage of this game. They don't come near the stadium or anything.
And I've got a feed, didn't they? Anyway, we've been joined by Old Davy. How are we doing, Old Davy?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
How are you?
How you doing, Bridgman?
How you doing, Davy boy?
73
That's it. I'm a domino. Aye. No, I'm just listening to what we're saying there, but see this, well, what I was going to just ask you was, do you think that there's millions of questions now, the way things are turning out, we could go down different roads, but I think we've been the victims of our own success in Europe with this. See this, having to play on a Thursday, and then we've got a semi-final in the Cup on Sunday. That just doesn't. I don't think that's pretty fair, actually. I think we've been a victim of our own success there, because even in the league, after that we come back, and the squad's getting fun out for what it is. Pretty ordinary.
Southside, I know you've got, obviously, when about the Dortmund games, we had a couple of draws. You've got similar thoughts in some respects, haven't you?
Aye, I do, but David, it's the way the fixtures fall, and when you're being successful in Europe, you've got to put up with it. You know, we've not really refreshed the squad as much as we probably could have or should have at times, and we dropped the points either side of the Dortmund game, you know, which put us in the position where we were in the league. Plus, in Europe, Davey, we need 11 players basically playing well on that night. We have batted above our average in Europe over the last few years. But to me, it's just, we've done all right in Europe this year. It's just dropped silly points at home and away, basically. That's it. That is it.
Yeah. But what I'm meaning is, like, so the way this is panning out, that we're playing on the Thursday, and the man came up, he's got a whole 6 days, and we've got 2.
To prepare, I get where you're coming from there, mate. I mean, but I think if you're drawing the fixtures up, that's the trouble when you sort of manipulate them to suit clubs and cancel fixtures for no reason round about Christmas time, you know.
Well, if you look at the next fixture when we play them, Davey, if we get to the semi-final of Europa League, it's bang right in the middle of that. So there goes the supercomputer.
Are you saying to me that that's a coincidence, South? Are you sitting there telling me in this studio that that's a coincidence?
I'm just saying that should we go by Braga, we've got them slam bang in the middle of a semi-final.
So, yes. Yeah. What are you trying to say to me, Southside? Are you saying that people are manipulating fixtures?
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Bridgman, never heard of I know there, mind you.
I'm not even asking you. He's just fell off his seat. You know me with his custard cream outside.
Hey,
yes, David.
I heard you saying something about. I take it I was the first caller on the night. So did I get a night out with Linda?
No,
I'm not wanting. I don't. I want a night out with Linda.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about
You're
that.
only maggots.
I'm sorry, mate, but it's a night with the
I'll bring my own Maltesers, don't worry.
I think it'd be cheaper getting out with Kim Kardashian and keeping him in Maltesers Southside.
He'll turn
up.
He'll turn up with the dairy malt, won't you?
David. Okay, and it's a celebration, but I don't think there'll be much celebrating this year. They know we're good guys, but you never know. We've got to keep going. What I was going to ask you as well, if this goes not to plan, we don't come out of this end of the season with a trophy and we've got to rebuild, where's the cash coming from?
Well, first of all, there'll be support for the season ticket holders. There's been money for the revenue that's come in for the second half of the European campaign. We've got the money that we got in January for Patterson, plus the coaching staff leaving. And hopefully we can, even if we don't, we fail ultimately in the league, hopefully we can get through the qualifiers. Then we've got assets we can sell as well, who aren't quite consistent as we think. But the hardest thing will be getting rid of the players that we all want rid of, ultimately who have got contracts. Southside?
Aye, just similar to what Ox said there, Davey. I mean, at the AGM they said they had everything covered going forward to the end of the season. So for that aspect, that's what they tell us at the AGM. And as Ox said, you've got all the money that we've brought in. If we can go another round again, you'll get more sponsorship money in. It'll cost more for the hospitality. You'll make more money. But ticket prices will go up again, which we'll pay for to go and see us in a semi-final. We've obviously, like you said, we've put in all that money, and there will be players that will probably get sold, Davey. So we will. It just depends on what type of player we're going to go for. You know.
Yeah.
Are you saying to me, Davey, you want to do away with the concession tickets? Is that what you're saying?
That will be the day. Just use you leave it. You got to let him away with that bridge, man.
I've already had it with him. I've already had it with him, Davey.
You should never speak to your elders like that.
I can't find time to speak to him. He's always on a bus going here, there, and everywhere.
Especially all the square ones. No, but what I'm saying is, and what I'm trying to implicate here is, why didn't we, if we could have had what we're going to have, all right, obviously we can't have that because it's where we are at the moment. But I think we missed the boat when Gio came in and nothing came in really. He never brought anybody in. He brought a couple of loans and anything he did, it's just no turned out. So that's going to change and all.
I think the trouble is, mate, Giovanni's got to judge his squad, see who he fancies, who he doesn't fancy. He came in November, mate, really in reality. And did he have time? Does he see the character? Does he know what they're like? Does he know what they're like when they go a goal down? You can watch all the video footage and all that you want, but you need to be there and smell it. Southside?
100%. I mean, see, at the end of the day, Davey, it didn't matter how this season panned out for this squad of players. It was time to break them up anyway. You know, they had to be broke up. They've done what they've done, and they've won the league title for us, and they've still got a chance of getting trophies this year. But we had to build that squad over a period of time back at the time, Davey. And like you said, we had some of the players when we brought them in, they weren't used to the environment and winning every week. They might get away with it in England when you play for certain teams like Charlton and even Burnley and all that, when Arfield came through, he was a bit more seasoned and knew the score. But all these players we've made into better players to learn them to build with the pressure. And this is the time, I think, when we've got to evolve. Gio needs to be able to have a chance to come in and get his own players in. But that's what I'm saying. Is it going to be Ross Wilson's pool of players that he's got? Or is Gio going to have an input to say, listen, there's this boy, this boy, this boy, this boy. That's what we've been looking at. We know them. Can we get them in? Then again, it depends on the wage structure then, Davey, you know, because we're having the players that are going to be leaving at their own big wages. So, like, for instance, John Suter's not coming into us and getting 25 grand a week or anything like that. So he'll be on less wages, and then we'll look at other players. So it'll depend how much we pay for them, Davey, and how good we think they are. It'll depend on what we're paying out in wages, in my opinion.
Anyway, gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening, and we're going to have a tune.
His story, the Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the greatest in all history, the Rangers Football Club, a debt we owe, we cannot pay, those gallant pioneers, a legacy they did bestow, we shared down through the years. To Moses boys and those fine young lads, our gratitude we'll show. We'll sing our song with heart and voice, and let the whole world know. The Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the greatest in all history, the Rangers Football Club. Come join as one and toast to all who share our history. Toast William Struth, a noble man, I'm sure you will agree. Lest we forget our absent friends, they watch from up above. In life and death we'll always be with Rangers Football Club. The Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the greatest in all history, the Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, thanks for that, Fox Old School Blue. Right, I think you were going to come in there with another question, Davey. Have you agreed with me with the concession tickets? I think it's a way to go, mate. But carry on.
What was the question again?
Full price, Davey, full price.
No chance. Get noted. It's bad enough trying to get a season ticket, I mean, trying to get a concession. You kidding? I took my daughter to the Ibrox Feet for her birthday, and I was robbed. I said to her, get a concession. She went, no, that won't be there. You're paying a full whack here, boy. So I had to
you were robbed. Was Southside and Big Stevie there?
Yeah, Davey, if you told me that and I gave you my Gers card, you'd have got a discount and I'd get points for it.
I had, what was the card before that? When we used to
come in. When we could just come in, Foxes come in and say, kids should find full whack as well then. Oh dear. I'm only kidding.
I know. Right, just get right back to the football agenda. I was watching earlier the 1985 League Cup final, Celtic and Rangers, when Cooper scored with a penalty with 5 minutes to go. And I'll tell you,
David, don't come on here and get your dates wrong, mate. It was 1985.
What was it?
It was Souness's first season. I think it was October 1986, personally.
Oh, right, call me a liar for a year. But what I was going to say is, I looked at that and the players on that part and I went, I'd give my right arm for some of them now. I mean, the quality of the football, and it was superb. What we're watching now, we're getting still like robbery. No, we'll get quality. That's another thing, guys. We'll get quality. That's missing by a country mile.
Well, as soon as it just came in, Derek Ferguson had a great game, so I've been told.
Yes, correct.
Aye, he did. Vigilante.
Aye.
He scored the first one.
Sure did.
The equaliser, didn't he? No, he got the first goal.
First one.
Then he equalised. By the way, they scored some goal right there, didn't he, McClare?
No, he drilled it in the top corner, bag, didn't he? The thing about it, Davey, is we could look through even like wingers. We've had Mark Walters, Peter Ustra, and then you're looking at Ryan Kent now. You know,
Is Kent's trouble is he doesn't score enough goals Southside?
Definitely for where he is. I still said on here a wee while back, we don't seem to be able to put boys through him. Like, obviously the goal we scored at Red Star when Kamara managed to lay it off and he's running just to the halfway line right on in goal. We don't seem to put him in enough sometimes. We're looking for him to create all the time and create for us. But certainly lacks goals for us, certainly in this league. You'd expect Kent to at least chip in with... He should be chipping in with 10 or 15 a season, honestly.
It doesn't be fair for me, aye. That's roughly what you're saying as well, aye.
Aye.
You know, I like Ryan Kent, but he's got to add goals, mate. Got to add goals to his game, mate. You know, he doesn't hit the target often enough. And that's something, when we've seen Sakala shot on Thursday night, and then we've seen Ramsey, and we've seen goals, and we've seen Diallo, and we've seen, who else was it, Wright? And none of them hit the target.
I'm not being funny. Should have seen them in the warm-ups shooting in at the goals. They were all ducking in the stone behind the goal. About 4 or 5 come flying in, honestly. You're like, you kidding me on? You know? So we were thinking that'll no go well. Obviously, they both scored a peach, but honestly, in the warm-up, they were flying into that stand.
Bridgman, I've had a question sent to us for a Mr. I'll tell you his name after you've answered.
Okay.
This is, I think it's designed for yourself, mate. Should we have paid Hearts the money, got Suter in early, and maybe helped us drive forward to another league title?
For me, if it's purely my opinion, I'm looking for it. No, just leave it. I'm quite happy. But I can tell you who actually said that.
Well,
Because he said it to my face at the bistro.
Mr. Butterbean.
Mr. Butterbean. Yeah, well, when he did say it to me, it was good points, marvellous points, because there's a whole section of Rangers fans think completely different from me, and they would have said £500,000 to get Suter in would have been brilliant. It would have set us up potentially set us up for winning the league this season, and that could be true. It could be true. I don't know if Suter's even playing for Hearts at the moment. Is he injured? Is he playing?
I don't know. I've not paid a lot of attention, but
so the probability.
Last I heard he was injured, mate. Last I heard he was injured. Yeah.
I'm quite happy if he finishes off his season there. He's actually having a good season. So if he finishes off his season there, comes to us, we haven't paid a lot of money, and I don't think. And I mean this in all honesty. I don't think he would have lasted the rest of the season when he came, if it came in January. I don't think he would have lasted the whole season without getting injured. Or the whole half a season, should I say.
Well, if that was the case, mate, I don't think we should have signed him in the first place, Southside.
I was just about to say, it looks good for the start of next season, Bridge.
What's that?
See, I was thinking that sounds good then for the start of next season, if you don't think that.
No, that's my opinion. I don't think the guy is 100%.
I think the point Mr. Butterbean has maybe said that we cut off our nose to spite our face. Southside.
Well, people think that, of course.
In hindsight, if he could have played every single game and we win that and we went on and won the league, which we can still win it, but we know it's probably a million miles away now, but we can still win it mathematically. But aye, if he'd come in, Bridge, and played week in, week out, and he'd made a difference, then it wouldn't have mattered how much we paid him, because Champions League money is where we wanted to be. We wanted to win the Champions League, and we certainly wanted to win the league, and he win the league gets you in there. So it wouldn't have mattered how much we'd paid for him. In hindsight, if he stayed fit, but we don't know that because he's out injured, but he might not have got injured when he was playing with us. We don't know what it was. So I think if we thought he could have played right through, then he was worth taking, because we had, look at the state of defence now as it is.
Davey?
Well, I've got different views on that. At the time, I would have said, yeah, get him in. But the problem is that that's not where the problem lies at the moment. The problem lies is the ball went after boil. So you could bring in as many halfbacks. We needed a good centre to cover Morales. We needed couple. If you're going to not play Davis and you're not going to play a few others, you still got to bring in. Who did we bring in? And it's not just the centre half position. It's the back to middle to front. It's went up a spout.
I think that's the problem, mate. When the manager brought back a Swiss internationalist, he's a new manager. He's like, right, this boy, I can get a tune out of him, to coin a phrase. So he thinks he's got a ready replacement there, Southside, and it turns out he doesn't fancy him nearer. But you don't know that till you see somebody every day, or you see him in matches where you fancy him or no, yeah?
Aye. He obviously, you don't become a bad player overnight. The boy scored goals in Switzerland. He scored the most goals to get Switzerland. All right, it was only 3, but it got him in the European Championships. He didn't get picked because he didn't have enough game time. He scored goals against Motherwell, different types, scored in Europe. But Alfie was your number one striker. We don't play with a 2 up front anymore like we used to. So when you're playing that one guy and he's pivotal to everything that you do in your team, even if he's maybe no scoring, Alfie should be scoring probably 30 goals a season. But because we've involved him in more coming short and that, other players, Davey, have not been getting to play in the team. They did under Gerrard, because I think we played the false 9 and you could put Roof in there because the fullbacks went down and got the ball in. But under Gio, he's wanting the winger to get the ball, and Roof's not a winger. So, I don't know. There's somebody said a while back he'd quite a bad bit of COVID there recently and he'd struggled. Maybe that's how he's not featured. But obviously the manager, I don't think, certainly fancied him. I think he brought him back to, like you say, Oxley's had a look at him. But I think it might have been something different. But there's not enough game times now for Eaton to come in now at all. So we'll have to go with what we've got. And need to hope that Sakala and Roof between them can make a difference. If there's find a way, Ox to play 2 up front.
If we go for somebody to bolster our squad, and I'll take this to Southside, then Bridge, and then Davey, right? We go for somebody to bolster our squad, say, I don't know, Joe Bloggs, and he's going to cost X amount. And we say to him, right, you come to us and you say, well, what am I going to get? I'm going to get X amount of earnings, right? Okay, that's all right. How am I going to play? Well, you're going to play second fiddle to Morelos. How are we going to get somebody in?
Aye, 100%. I mean, if Alfie doesn't go anywhere in the summer and extends his deal for talking's sake, then he'll start, won't he? I mean, unless Gio...
But what I'm saying is try to buy somebody else in.
Aye. Roof came, obviously. The thing is, I believe when we bought Roof and Itten, the board thought Alfie was gone, and I think that's why we bought the 2 of them. And then obviously it didn't develop that way and Alfie stayed, and that's how I think we got the 2 of them at the one time. Ox.
Maybe you're right. Davey, then Bridgman.
Well, I know what Southside's coming through there regarding that. I just don't think we've covered ourselves in any glory at all. When we've had a chance to get into the transfer window after January, I think we let ourselves down there. And now we're still paying the piper. And then there's Sunday, there a couple, don't know if Thingy's going to make it for Thursday. He was just starting to at a game. But
Lundstrom.
Lundstrom. And it's just basically, I feel we've let ourselves down, not just in the centre forward position, just basically, and the rest that's been left, it's just went totally, the form's just went out the window, I'm afraid to say.
Aye. But you can only sign X amount, Bridge. Yeah, we brought the boy Dalston in. We knew we needed some cover on the right hand side of our team. We brought him in. He's in and cover. Ultimately, it's no work to it. But what do? You go out and spend millions to get cover in, or do you have to go with your... It's a gamble all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the cover we've got a centre half at the moment with a young lad, based on his half a game time wise. I think he had a tremendous game. Remember, it's a Premiership match and we needed to win it anyway. So I think he played well. We might have others in the whole squad, including the youths, that could actually step up and do a similar job. But if you're looking for it to be a true Rangers team, then you're going to have to bring in, I would imagine you're going to have to move out a huge number of players that are from the club. And that may be too costly. We might have to just get rid of their contracts and so on and so forth. That may be just too costly. So they may have to stay on. And if they stay on, you can't go out and buy more. Take their place because, you're only going to pay two men for the same position, are you? Generally. Anyway, for me, I think I'd love it if we kept Morelos. Absolutely love it if we kept him. It'd be great. And the guys that are there, I'd love Golson to sign on. I would absolutely love it. Let him get to the end of his career. And Stephen Davis, on his display yesterday, and we've spoken about him before many times, but very recently we started speaking about him. Doing all right in the international team, but not quite 100% fit. Well, he came on there yesterday and he was excellent. Outstanding, absolutely outstanding. So very, very happy for him. Really, really good. Really happy. So there you are. What would you do? I'll throw a question back to you guys. What would you do? Would you let Stephen Davis go, or would you give him another year? Personally speaking, I would give him another year because he's an automatic, good quality player to have it ready for your midfield. It may not be a first-time starter every week, and Stephen Davis would know that, but it can at least come on and do a job for you. We can talk about people coming into our club, but Morelos, for me, is the number one. He's the best player we've got, most assuredly. And if we can get him, he's our talisman. If we can get him fit and keep him, get him to sign another contract, I'd be over the moon.
He is for talisman, mate, but does he score enough goals, people?
I agree. I don't disagree with you. But then that's up to the coaching staff now. If we keep him, then we've got to keep him for a particular style of play. And that's the style of play we're... Sorry, pal?
Bridge, right, sorry. See, you're saying give Stephen Davis another contract, right? Why would you want to do that? For instance, if he's getting 25 grand a week, say, so he's getting 100 grand a month, and we have to keep him because he's a good pro and he's a good professional. We've got to look at getting new players, younger players, faster players, quicker players. And if Alfie's on the maximum of a contract, say he's at the limit of where we are, since we've been up in his contract, then it's going to be hard for us to get him to sign another contract because he knows he'll get a contract anywhere else and it'll be on a lot more money than what we can give him. That's the reality. Yeah. So
I can't disagree with that.
All our players that are on the max are where they are now. When we're asking them to extend, we're not breaking a wage structure according to Ross Wilson. So if they're at that absolute maximum, then they're not likely to sign another contract for us. We'll have to get other players in that we can sign for less money, maybe on 10 grand a week. And if they do well, we can up their contracts as they go along. But they're not going to be household names, I don't think. No, we might get one or two. We might be able to attract that. But we've already said we've got a wage structure at Ibrox and it's not going to change, he said. So we're going to be looking at a different type of player than what some of these might be expecting we're going to get.
You couldn't give Davis a contract based on 60 minutes against St Mirren, mate.
No, I'm not saying that. Look, up to the 60 minutes against St Mirren, there isn't anybody would have said to Stephen Davis, right, you've got a contract, you want another year, will you give us another year? Something like that. No, but look the way he played the other day. And I'm not saying he's going to do that every week. So you would gauge the contract to suit that and offer him a contract at a lower salary for a start. But he'd be there for the backup. Maybe even with his head on for coaching. Maybe he could do some coaching. I don't know. But he's a player on our books, and he obviously can still play football because he ran that second half. The whole second half.
Yeah, I love Stephen Davis, the player, Davey. I love Stephen Davis, the man. But I think you've got to watch. There's no room for sentiment, mate.
No, I understand that, but I understand that. But I'm not.
Yeah, you're spot on. By the way, you've got to shake the tree now and let all the old apples come down and replant them. Let the new growth come. We've got to start. Davis and it's same with a few other players that we've got. They've done brilliant over the 2 or 3 years that they came in, but it's a time where now you've got to think and start again. I'm off the suicide saying that. I mean, see, I can understand what Bridges meaning, but when you look, I can see why he's not been playing lately after Sunday. I don't care. He was playing against nobody.
Can you just watch? It's no suicide, it's Southside, if you don't mind.
But that's different. When you come to Govan Hill, it's suicide.
You know what I mean? I'm just
Sorry, Southside. Sorry, Southside. my apologies, old boy.
Accepted, David, accepted.
Yeah, but I'm afraid we're the part of Govan Hill I came from. The grammar was stinks.
I could imagine what part of Govan Hill you were from.
Oh, I'm not even going there anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I stayed in Kirkcart Road. But I think we've got. I see where you're coming from with Davis, and it's the same with McGregor. You know, it's the same scenario. We've got to get that, and that back four's going to be jumbled up as well. I mean, I know Bridge is on about Golson, but nah, not for me. No, for he doesn't even. He's done good. That's all. That's it. He's done great. He helped Stoke 10 in a row, as far as I'm concerned. But there's no gelling with him and Balogun now. I mean, Bassey's he's outstanding just now, and that's what we want. We want another 10 of him.
Southside. Never go back to Bridge.
I just think we've got to. I just think we'll be going down the road, Davey, our players maybe around about 20, 22, 23 maybe. That's just my own opinion. Probably we might look at, I mean, we're all linked with Joey Veerman. I couldn't tell you how good Joey Veerman was at the time, but people said he was a good player and that. But if it's somebody like that was going to cost a right few quid at the time and then you're trying to give him wages, you might have to look. I don't know what they pay in France and what you might pay in Belgium or Holland, but the top clubs will pay all right money. But if we're looking to get players for further down the league a wee bit, but are good players or get good talent, if we need to shop in there and make them a better player in time, Davey, that's the model that we were looking at. That's the model he told us that the Rayburg and done that road. So at that road at the moment, we've got Aribo, Kent and Alfie, and that's our three, and obviously Kamara, who's on a longer term deal. But A3 are now at the last year, so it's how much money we get for them if they move on, or people come in with bids for them, and we'll see if we think the model was worth it. So, but in my opinion, Stephen Davis, no Bridge, he has to go. I'd like to see him get a testimonial at Oxford against Northern Ireland or whatever. It'd be good to see that, but we don't give him another contract, in my opinion. We need to use that money wisely for other players.
Have we even got a date for that game? Have we even got a date?
Yeah, aye. So that could about clash with Harry Styles.
No. Me, you, and
I hope it's not in July.
The tickets for that. You know what I mean?
We'll be not in July.
Aye.
No. November. Sometimes November. We could play that testimonial. We might have a blank weekend. Just think out loud, yeah.
Aye. No, it is, aye. Be perfect, wouldn't it?
Aye.
I don't see our club shelling out a lot of money for players. They're looking for the Morelos for £1 million type of a deal. That's what they're looking for.
Aye, I think where we are in this journey, Bridge, I'm not saying we will take another step in the journey, but we have to try and make progress up the step, and it might be a quarter step at a time, and we're not going to get that with projects again.
What do you mean projects?
If you go through the amount of players we have signed in the last few years, mate, they haven't cut the mustard ways. It's quite 100%. Embarrassing, really.
But that's the same for any team. Most teams have done the same thing.
I'm not interested in any team.
No, I'm only saying that
we'll get the two boys from Bournemouth. The two boys from Bournemouth we brought in last January. We've got the boy for Scott Wright we brought in last January. Then we've got Sakala. Sakala seems like a smashing bloke. He's going to do some wonderful things and entertain us all. Is he going to get us to the next level? The jury's out for me. David in Southside.
Well, at the beginning I thought Sakala, especially after the Morrow game.
I like him, mate. He's an entertainer, but
No, there was a lot of times he's control of the ball. I think I could be wrong, but I think he's just trying too hard. He wants to please everybody, and he's just busting a gut, and it's not happening for him. But that just might tell you that it's just not got that bit of quality. Could be that.
Southside.
He's raw. He's definitely raw. Didn't show any composure on Thursday night. He worked it brilliant when he made the space for himself, and he just blasted it. He should have taken a decent striker or somebody would have just picked his spot, had it low into a corner. But he went for power. To me, he's a project. I think he actually plays better when we move him to the left than he does on the right. I think he's done it again on Sunday there, but he'd done it in other games. I think on the left he's a wee bit more effective. He gets in the game more, runs at players a lot more. Even against Motherwell that day, he was on the left. But he's raw, and I think in time I don't know whether he'll have a long-term future at Rangers, to be honest. But I'd like to think if he does, that we can develop him. The one thing I like about him is when he does get to the edge of the box, he does look to try and get a shot off. So he's not scared to have a shot at goal.
Talking about people who always shoot and always score, we've been joined by Bob J. Evening, Bob J.
How you doing, lads? All right?
Hey, Bob.
I've been listening for a while to your conversation there about revamping the squad. Squad revamps cost a lot of money, boys. You know that. You've been over the conversation about that. I don't know what's going to happen here. Just like the rest of us, we can speculate all we want. We'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, I think a couple of big names might go, like Aribo, etc. It's a possibility. Goldson, we don't know his situation. I think he wants to go actually, and Alfie. Well, but tell what the rest of them do. If they're one of your top players, dig your heels in for big money. Because that's the name of the game these days in the transfer market, as you all know. You don't need me to tell you, big money, so we can revamp the squad. Who we're going to do it with, I don't know. That's anybody's guess. Remains to be seen.
Aye. Bridgman, in you come.
I think Bob J is absolutely right. If you're going to try and rebuild a squad, remember you're going to be playing in Europe at certain levels. Next season you're going to be in the Champions League in the qualifiers, at least. And if you don't get them through them, good chance you'll end up in the Europa League. So we're going to have players that can actually still play at these levels that we're speaking about. I don't know where we're going to get them. I really don't know. Obviously, I'm not giving it too much thought. But we have got some good... I would say it again, we've still got available to us now. We've got some good players that can play at that level. We need to do our best to keep them. But if Golson's going to go, you're going to get rid of Stephen Davis. There's a few other people might not make it. That boy got injured yesterday. Not Helander, but Lundstrom. I don't know if that injury's permanent with him. Nobody touched him. He went down. You just don't know what you're going to get.
It looked as if it was either a groin or a stomach muscle, mate, the way he was acting, no?
Yeah, I thought groin immediately. So if you've got players that, I know everybody gets it, when they play football, you end up with a wee groin strain, things like that, you know. And he might be back playing next week, so you just don't know. My goodness gracious, he's a key player right at this time of the season, and he gets an injury, shall we say. I don't know whether he did something, twisted something, whatever, you know. So we're really tough, and we're in a lot of trouble at the moment if we don't get our teams on the park, particularly on Thursday night, because we have a massive game for us, massive game. We've got to do it. And they're the players, to me, are going to be the springboard for the start of next season. And you're going to add in a few other players, hopefully, maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 players.
People have to come and go all the time, Bob J. I mean, we talked about Stephen Davis, maybe Alan McGregor. I'm not going to say we're top earners, but we need all that revenue. We need to decide it's time to stick or twist with their, to get the wages, get people off the wage bill. Like Scotty Arfield, I think he's another one. His contract's up the south side.
I think he is. There's probably, without naming them, there's probably at least 5 or 6 players just now are probably taking the best part of 120 grand out the club in wages. So we've got to look at that and say where we best use that. And obviously, if they've got targets, we've got to go and try and get them, and then get them fixed in on a contract, and that's it. And it's just about then they'll just get a pre-season under their belt, and we've got to go again. To me, we've got to win the league. The league's the most important. Europe's a bonus. You know, it's always been a bonus. And the Champions League's certainly a massive step up for the Europa League. So I don't think we'll have a few players left, but we'll not have 11 or 12 players out that squad, I don't think, left to start next season.
All right, talking about step-ups for the first caller this evening, we're stepping up a lot. We've been joined by Alex Frobisher. Evening, Alex.
Good evening, Ox there. Southside, Bridgeman, Bob Jer, Davey.
Hi,
everybody okay?
Hi, Alex. Fine.
That's some introduction.
Sorry, Davey.
Davey's brand new. I'm pleased. I'm pleased we got the result yesterday. We got a quick goal, but for the next 20 minutes, basically, it was like drawing teeth. It was absolutely diabolical.
Is that a trait in our team, mate?
Terrible, absolutely terrible. And it's just with the selections, injuries, to move the team around a bit. And there he goes, he brings on Stevie Davis and he changes the full game. And that guy's got to be a stick on Thursday night to play in that team. Don't care how they work it around about the midfield, he's got to play. Because the calmness and the coolness that guy brings to the team is unbelievable. And if Van Bronckhorst can't see that, in a bad way.
Big call, Southside, and then we'll go back to old Davey.
Well, Alex, I respect you, buddy. I always like you on here and what you've got to say. I think it works in our favour, Alex, if we're dominating the game. I think if we're chasing a game or we're having to defend, then I don't think Stephen Davis has got the legs in that. Watched a couple of Northern Ireland games when they hadn't sort of been running the games, and a couple of passes round about them and teams are away. You know, that's my only concern. I think if we're dominating the game, Alex, you might be right, but if we're no, then I don't know if he's the right guy to have out there, mate, in my opinion. And I always respect what you say, big man. Always enjoy it.
I respect you, and also say
that's just my only opinion, mate, just because of that, you know.
No, 100%. No, that's what it's about. I respect your opinion. I just feel he's a forward-thinking player, and we're going to figure out and get a victory on Thursday night. And that's how I'm looking at it. When he came on, he totally changed that game.
What I did notice before I bring Davey in, who I also respect as well, by the way, since we're all respecting each other, right? Alex, what I did notice yesterday, the way he talked, the way he pointed, the way he told people constantly where to go, that's not been apparent till he came on the pitch yesterday.
Definitely.
That's what I see. That's exactly what I see. I'm just looking for the way I've seen the team playing.
Who would you pair him with then? Who would you pair him with in that position?
Well, I think he'll get in there. If Jack's fit, he'll get in with him. And if he's no fit, it'll be Lundstrom. And if none of the two of them's fit, he'll get in there with probably Kamara.
God, if any man of them is fit, I might get a chance of getting a game.
No, but that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing to Oxford now. Another guy he's got to play is Ramsey, because I was quite disappointed he never played out in Braga. I just couldn't understand, but he never played him there, and he's playing against St Mirren. That guy's up here to play in these games, man. Even if he gets 60 minutes of him, he's got to play. They're footballers, man, and that's what we need in that team.
I thought it was crying out for him to come on, mate, with half an hour to go, you know, for Scotty Arfield, if I'm being honest, mate. And
that's what it's about. It's all opinions and that, but we see it all differently. That's just how I see it. I see what you call it. They're football players in the middle of the park. And the way we played after we got the goal yesterday, all that playing at the back, slow, lethargic, the full lot, that's just no, you're not going to win games, man. I don't think. And I think that's been the reason we fell away in the league. We need to go forward thinking now, everybody, and get the ball into the box as quick as we can go. And I'll tell you another one, folk might be laugh here, but this is me genuinely. See Thursday night, they were really on the front foot. See their right back, he was the guy who caused the problems with Braga. And I'm telling you now, see Big Bonner goes in there at left back, if he plays him in there, I would play Bassett in front of him. There you go. And that's for Bassett to stop that guy and put him in the back foot. That's a tactical that I would change. A tactic. Play Big Bassett left side of midfield.
Just tell Big Bassett to crunch him, man. You never know, he might disappear, you know.
I'm going to the byline because we're going to go for goals here to win this tie.
That's it. Alec, when I watched that game on Thursday night and all that play was coming down the right and that guy had Akers out there, how did they not get Kamara to go out there and stand on the wing, mate? I was screaming.
There you go. That's what happened. So what about Bassett going out there then, playing that role?
A bit different, but I see where you're coming from. I'll take it to our tactical genius, old Davey.
I think Alex is spot on, actually. And he's dead right about the way we shaped up after we scored. And we've been doing that regular. It was diabolical. But the second goal came in. Regarding Davis, at this type of game, that guy's got everything that we need for League Cup finals, international games, World Cups. He's going to start him to get a bit of control of the game because they've got pace, they've got power, but he can settle us down into a passing game again because we keep getting that ball back at him. We'll pay the piper. So I think Alex spot on regarding starting them up right at the beginning. I'll go for that anyway.
Radical, Bob, yeah. Radical. But we've done radical things in European ties in the past.
We've done absolutely fantastic in Europe recently. And we're going to do it again. I agree with you about Stephen Davis. Stephen Davis has got an absolute wealth of experience. He's probably the most experienced player in Scottish football. So I wouldn't have any qualms about him coming in here on Thursday night. I'm with you there, Alec. Absolutely. And a question of his legs, a man's only a human being. But he's a fit human being, a fit 36-year-old. He's a captain of Northern Ireland. He's put in sublime performances for Rangers, and we're maybe going to have to ask the man to do it one more time. And personally, I don't think it's beyond him. And I was alarmed at the amount of crosses that were coming into the box on Thursday night for the right-hand side. Bassey looked to be out there with 2 or 3 of them. He sold. Did you notice that? Yeah.
It was simple for me. You just moved my Kamara back one.
Right.
Let the players come into the middle and take Glenn Kamara out to the left where they put the numbers in. No, that's what I would have done because it was 15 minutes. It was constantly coming down the one flank.
Yeah, all the time. Definitely. They're not a bad side this lot. They can pass the ball and they're very quick, but I do think we can overcome them.
Get them, play at a tempo, win the game. But I'll take you to my legs expert, Bridgman.
I will say. I think that the guys are right. Everybody's right because it's theoretically you can never be ranked because of a wee idea you've got. But the truth of the matter is, if you watch that game again for last Thursday, you'd probably notice that Bassey was caught out 3 or 4 times out of position. Now that may have been indecision by him. They go that way, they go that way. All of a sudden, the ball's out wide again, and he's no, you know. So the thought that you could put Bassey just in front, play Borna and Bassey up in front of him, maybe that's the right way. Maybe that's the right way to double up. But you're taking away that pace in your team. You're taking it away, Borna and Bassey. But you might be right. I mean, it might work perfectly well for you. It's not. I would never do that. I would I'd make sure that Bassey was playing out wide, as wide as that fullback coming up. He'd be out as wide as that on the line with him. Keep goal side. Don't let him get past you. If he get past you on the outside, that's all right.
Alec, can you do us a favour, mate? See you're not talking, can you put your phone on mute? We're getting some feedback for you, mate.
Sorry.
No, it's not your fault, mate. It's just they're so sensitive, these things, mate. They're a bit like myself, very sensitive. Southside, in you come.
I think it's what we do on Thursday. I get what Alex was saying. There was a lot of the wee boy was going down a double up down the flanks and that. But I still think it's what we do and how we'd set up tactically. They play Alex, they play the exact same as they played against us a couple of years ago. You know, just different players, obviously, because it's helped some of the better players. But they play the same system. I get your theory with Stevie Davis. Obviously, if Jack or Lundstrom don't make it, then he's going to have to go in and play in there, I think, with Kamara. He might put Sands in there, I don't know. I think we need legs, and I think we need to be on top of them, but they will be dangerous. They're a good technical side. They work the ball well and then switch the play. So they work it quite well. So we need to just Gio needs to make sure that we're up to a game plan. But so the onus is on us to go and get a goal.
Yeah. And you come all, Davey, and then we'll go back to Alex. And Bob.
Aye, Southside's got it right. He's got it tactically. But the thing is, but I know we've got to get a goal, but who's going to score it? That's my problem. That's my biggest worry.
Big Joe Aribo's going to get the first one.
Hope so.
Big Joe Aribo, I don't know if you noticed then, Alex, if you the dancing feet started coming back yesterday.
That was really pleasant to see that, wasn't it? I hope that goal and that just takes him off and that, because he's a kind of rough time for coming back for the African nations, and he did. He was he looked a wee bit back to his selling that again, and he's a footballer, I know. As you know, if he gets into the box, doesn't matter, gets a bit of space in that, he can finish. But Ramsey's another one. We've got to get him into the team, man. We've definitely got to get these forward-thinking players to get a result here. Even 1-0, that gets it in. At least takes it to penalty kicks that we don't want. But I think we'll win about 2-0 on Thursday night. That's me. But we've got to, all get together. I must say, after we scored the goal, it was quite nice seeing all the players all together and that, you know, all smiling and that, because you're getting a bit of bad vibes coming about what's happening behind closed doors and that, whether it's true or no, but with some of the players and that. But it's certainly, we've gave it, the bottom line, what happened, we could beat with Celtic there last Sunday, that kind of put everybody in a downer. That was the bottom. And that's how the fans was kind of went, a wee bit off at the moment. But the result there yesterday has gave us another wee bit of positivity in that. And I'm sure we'll get the result now on Thursday. I was just thinking myself when I was watching the games and that, but Big Bass in that, I think sometimes you've got to make wee tactical changes and all that can change the games. Rangers have been famous for it over the years, bringing guys in, taking guys out of position and changing away, man. So it's not something we've never done. It's just how the manager sees it. I'm not the Rangers manager, so it's only my opinion on it.
No, listen, your opinion's as good as anybody's. And you come, Bob, yeah?
Aye, on the Braga thing, I thought Rangers played quite well in the second half. I thought they got themselves better organised and the limited Braga in the second half. All right, they won the game, but it's, you know, when I picked up the paper on Thursday morning like the rest of you thought it was a disaster. It wasn't a disaster. How many times have you said over the years a 1-0 defeat away in Europe's a good result? Well, it's a good result for us, and I feel that we can turn this around on Thursday night. And as Alex and the boys are saying, just get it right tactically, and we can do it. We can do it. We can go at this team, because they're not the greatest defensively. I don't think so. I've seen that a couple of years ago. You all saw that. They're good at coming forward, nuffs the ball well. Good side, but they're not the greatest defensively. Because we were 2-0 down to them and turned it around, so we can definitely go through this on Thursday night. It's just a case of who's fit and who's not. And we need we need everybody to be 100% committed to this. It's the biggest two games we've got left this season. It's against this on Thursday and against them on Sunday. And we really need to be up for it, guys. And hopefully we can get some semblance of success out of it. Both of them would be great, would be a dream. And it's achievable. I'm sure you all agree. It's totally achievable. So come on, Rangers, get the sleeves rolled up and get into it.
Bridgman.
I agree 100% with what Bob just said there. 100%. Get the sleeves rolled up and get into the biggest games coming up. I can't look farther than Thursday. This is a huge game. I'll get a fabulous chance, great opportunity to take another step towards a cup final, a League Cup final or a Europa League. So if we can get through this, it'll be heaven, just heaven. And we have got the players. Our players that are there, as long as they're not injured, then they'll be able to go on and do the business. But if we've got 5 or 6 injuries after Sunday, we're in real trouble. But I'm sure we've got enough good players in the pool that are ready to come through again and fight for it and get in there. Just get sleeves rolled up and get tore in. We've got to do it. Obviously, we'll hear more news from the manager as the week goes on, and it might be good news as opposed to how we're feeling now as far as news is concerned. So we just need a bit of good news that the guys know what to do. It's a big game at Ibrox. You can't ask for it anywhere else, can you? All you're needing is 2 goals. Get 1-2-0. That's you through.
2-0, 3-1. We're through.
Yes, I'm saying, but at the minimum, 2-0. That'd be brilliant. Just brilliant.
Oh, can I say something?
Yes, David, carry on, mate.
A wee hypothetical question for you. If you had a choice of games to win, what would you prefer, Thursday or Sunday? And I know
I'm going to take the Fifth Amendment on that one because I said I would ask Linda that on Wednesday, mate. And she called me some rude names yesterday, but I'll go to one person and one person only to answer that.
Just interesting.
Southside.
No. I knew you were going to do that. See, to be honest, Davey, I want to go to the Scottish Cup final now, right?
Me too.
We're no, as much as it's still a dream now, if we get by Braga, we're still getting a game to go and that, but I don't honestly believe my heart will win it. But we can win it, it can happen, no, we can do it, but I've just been there before and that, and I just think the squad we've got and the sort of way we've been playing, it's just not going to be possible. So I'll take Batter name a week on Sunday.
Yeah, me and all.
All right, well done. You answered the question. Southside, brave man. Southside, maybe not here for you before Thursday. I'm going to put you in the spot again because I know a lot of people value your opinion. What do you think of Rishi Sunak's missus?
Shocking behaviour, that's what I would say.
What's your team going to be since
oh no, I didn't really give it much thought. If we're going on McGregor, Tav, Golson, I had a thought about this, right? I'm going to find this one out here. I'm going to go Bassey and Borna. And then I'm going to go hoping Ryan Jack's fit. I'm going to think that Lundstrom isn't going to make it, so I'm going to put Kamara in beside him. And then I'm going to go Kent, Roof, and Aribo.
So, give me that again. Tavernier, Golson.
Oh, I've missed Ramsey out, haven't I?
Aye.
Is that only 10? That's only 10 I've named, isn't it?
10
Aye,
players.
right, Ramsey.
Confident?
Aye, Ramsey in there.
Right, so where are you playing Aribo? On the right?
On the right, aye.
Okay. Alex Fisher.
That's a good team. That is a good team. But you want me to name my team tonight?
You've got all week to maybe phone in with yours, mate. But I'm interested.
Right. I'll be tough. Well, obviously it's McGregor. I'd probably do. Think about it now with Bash. I'd probably put him in at centre back now with Bonner. Midfield, depending who's fit between Lundstrom and Jack. Either one of them. I would play Davis. I would play Ramsey, Aribo, Kmart Roof, and Kent.
Pretty much the same team. All right, be interesting. We maybe start getting hints tomorrow who's fit, who's no fit. No, but we'll see what it takes. It's a good question you asked there, Davey, and we'll build up to that as the week goes on, mate. I'll ask people like, yeah.
Do you want my team?
No.
Right, you're gonna get right, David, you're listening, everybody, right? It's Richie, Shearer, Caldo, Craig, McKinnon, Baxter. Okay, that's the first five.
Go and give us your team, mate.
I couldn't call it. I just don't think. I mean, apart from the goalie, I think it's a lucky bag shot who's going to make that game. I couldn't even go there, folks. I've no got a Scooby.
Well, Tav Golson will be playing, yeah. And it'll be a Balogun, Bassey, Borner. It'll be 2 out of 3 of them. That'll be your back four. And then it depends who's fit in the midfield, you know. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know. Everybody go with Ruth up top, would they?
Coach. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Don't think we've got a choice.
All right. Okay. All right. Be interesting to see how it pans out. But obviously 2 good headers they scored, Bob Jerry.
What? Can you repeat that, Ox, please?
2 good headers he scored there.
A good hat trick, an excellent hat trick.
Aye.
And, you know, I mean, people will say to me, it was only St Mirren. I turn around and say, it was only St Johnson. I say, so that's the way you want to look at it. No, an excellent hat trick with the man. I was pleased for him. And I was going to put him on a high, he's going to want more. So here's what he's up for. He will be up for it on Thursday night. Me and my heart of hearts believes we can do this on Thursday night. I think we can. I'm confident we can do it.
Southside, you answered Davey's question since we're playing hypothetical here. Once we get through what Bob Jer's saying on Thursday night, where do you lie with that same question about the semi and the 2 semi-final?
Beat it, you. Don't start. Not even answering that. Get me into trouble and everything. No.
You start
one game at a time. One game at a time.
All right, fair enough. But you start smelling it then, eh?
Aye, listen, if we get to the semi-final, right, then it's... we've got a good chances then, because it doesn't matter. We're going to get a game at Ibrox, we're going to get a game away. We don't know what the squad will be like, guaranteed, but like I've said, we need to get at least 11 players on the night playing well in Europe. That's what we need. But we've shown that we have stepped up to the mark in the last 2 games. We're hoping they'll step up to the mark on Thursday night. We've not been in great form, so... But do you know what? Braga's not as good a team, I think, as we played before. Aye, we're minus Alfie, we're minus Hadji, but that squad's very much the same. And we just need to find a way to get ball in the box with plenty of players in the box. And I think Ruth showed on Sunday that he's a predator in the box. The way you go to 3 goals, especially the third one, his type of goal in it, scramble in the box and he pounces. And the other 2, he done no bad movement, but we're up against Braga and we're going to be up against them. It's a different calibre than playing St Mirren, but it's good that he got a hat trick, and we've just got to hope that he'll hit some goals on Thursday night if he's playing.
Aye. Last word for evening, Alex.
I'll go with everything that Southside said there. About asking the question about Europa or the semi-final, I would take Europa semi-final. They're a Scottish Cup with them.
Interesting. All right, cheers, mate. Always good to hear from you.
Brilliant show, Oxford. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, mate. It makes it even better when you come on, mate. Bob Gia.
Well, here we go into the biggest week of the season, eh? And we've been on a downer since we got beat for them last Sunday. Good win yesterday. Let's continue the momentum. Go out here on Thursday night. We're right at this team because, as I said, I don't think they're the best defensively. Good football inside. Go at them. Get yourselves into a dreamland, a semi-final of the Europa League. God, that would be fantastic. And when you get there, it's probably, I don't know, it's Atlanta and who else, that Red Bull mob. Well, anything's possible. As you say, Doc, you can smell it for there. A big week for the club coming. Everybody get committed. Everybody go for it. And thanks for having me on the night again, Ox.
You hear? Old Davy, one of life's gentlemen.
Thank you. Yeah, a pleasure being on again, guys. And always remember the way things are in this world at the moment. There's more to the real life is going on all over the world. Losing a football match is not the end of it, guys. So we'll always be there because we are a people. I love you all.
Thank you, David.
Southside.
Aye, big match on Thursday, mate. So I'm sure we'll have a full house capacity at Ibrox, and I'm sure we'll be roaring and screaming for the start, and just hoping that gets enough to get us over the line, and hopefully we'll get a good performance and can carry it on after that. But Thursday's a massive night for us, so looking forward to it. Thanks for having us on, and thanks for being on with Bridgeman, the legend. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Good discussion, mate. Even though I didn't agree with Alex, it was done civilised as normal on here. And like I say, Alex, if I've got no injuries, then he'll definitely be in the team, I believe. So, aye, looking forward to Thursday, mate, and thanks for having us on.
Oh, great to have you on.
Well said,
Can you come, Bridgeman?
Oh, what can I say? Absolutely fantastic night. Once again, fantastic. Great to be on as a partner with Southside. And I agree with what you said about with Alec Wisher. He talks a lot of sense for a couple of minutes and then he rambles away, you know. Absolutely brilliant. No, serious, I'm only joking.
Seems to be a great one here.
Can I just say, seriously, obviously we're building up to it. Well, you know, I'm an old man now, and I can tell you that I don't remember such, shall we say, such feeling towards the team when you see this that it's falling apart at certain parts of the injuries. We need to make sure we're no got a load of injuries.
Hurry up, Bridgeman, I've got my work in the morning.
I've got to go to bed. Can I just say, to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here, on Rangers Radio, every single one of us, please, keep it going for the Rangers. The Rangers need us. Keep it going.
Thanks to all the boys for calling in. Bob J, Southside, Alex Wisher, of course, Southside and Bridgeman for doing the show, Fox and Old School Boy for doing the technical. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. We'll be joined by Young GB and Old JFK. Take it away, Old School Boy.
We are the Rangers FC. We are the people, you better believe. We are together, we're doing the bouncy all over the world. We had our troubles, but now they are gone. They tried to kill us, but the Bears, we stood strong. We are together, doing the bouncy all over the world. We'll see you by Ibrox for Lancer at 3. Follow, and God save the Queen. You'll hear us singing, doing the bouncy all over the world. In Barcelona in 72, we beat the Russians by 3-2. Still celebrating, doing the bouncy all over the world. Glasgow Rangers, we're back where we belong. Blue sea of Ibrox, and we're still going strong. We wear our colours, the red, white and blue. We wear them proudly like blue noses do. We are together, doing the bouncy all over the world. The pride of Scotland, but that's nothing new. The pride of Glasgow, and Glasgow is blue. We are together, doing the bouncy all over the world. To be a blue nose, it fills us with pride. We are united, will never divide. We are together, doing the bouncy all over the world. Doing the bouncy all over the world. Doing the bouncy all over the world.